Good morning. We will now start the Committee of Public Property and Public Works. For the record, I want to establish we have a quorum. To my left, we have Council President Clark, Councilman Greenlee, Councilman Don. Clerk, would you please read the titles of the bills?
Bill number 180011, an ordinance amending Chapter 16-200 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sales, Leases, and Other Grants of City-Owned Buildings and Facilities by requiring appraisals as a condition of approval of certain acquisitions and disposals of real estate, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 180177, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to enter into a lease agreement with Roxborough Development Corporation for the use by the corporation of all or a portion of the premises located at 463-65 Leverington Avenue under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 180350, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title or lesser real estate interest in all or a portion of the parcel or parcels of land located in and about the area bounded by Castor Avenue, Laredo Avenue, Elgin Avenue, and Bly Avenue, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 171084, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title or lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of the parcel or parcels of land located in and about the area bounded by North Broad Street, Noble Street, 13th Street, and the building known as 401 North Broad Street, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 180103, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to enter a lease agreement with Peter Roberts Enterprises for use by the city of all or a portion of the premises located at 2504-12 Snyder Avenue. And Bill number 180104, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to convey to the Philadelphia Authority for Industrial Development certain parcels of land situated at 130 West Westmoreland Street with any improvements thereon for further conveyance. And Bill number 180105, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to convey to the Philadelphia Authority for Industrial Development certain parcels of land situated at 3300 North Front Street with any improvements thereon for further conveyance. And Bill number 180106, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to enter into a lease agreement with Springdale Associates LP for use by the city of all or a portion of the premises located at 520 North Delaware Avenue. And Bill number 180237, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or lesser interest in such as an easement by purchase, condemnation, or otherwise in parcels of land located along the Delaware River and the Kensington and Tacony Trail, and authorizing an agreement between the city and the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority for the PRA to act as the city's condemnation agent. And Bill number 180239, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title or lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land located in and about the area bounded by Norwich Drive, 67th Street, Essington Avenue, and 70th Street. That are all the bills before the committee.
Thank you. Hint, hint. All right, thank you. For the record, Bill number 180103 will be held in committee today on behalf of the sponsor. Is there anyone from the administration that wishes to speak on Bill number 180237? Will you please approach, state your name for the record, and you may begin with your testimony.
Morning, Chairman Heenan and committee members. My name is Robert Armstrong, and I'm the Preservation and Capital Projects Manager with the Department of Parks and Recreation. I appear before you today on behalf of the department concerning Council Bill number 180237. This bill allows the City of Philadelphia to acquire right-of-way along the former Kensington and Tacony K&T Railroad and land along the Delaware River to construct the K&T Trail Phase 2, which will be used for recreation and transportation purposes. Upon completion of construction, the trail will be operated and maintained by Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, along with its nonprofit partner, the Riverfront North Partnership. The trail is between McGee Avenue and Princeton Street along the Delaware River. The trail connects to the K&T Trail Phase 1, opened in 2017, and the Tacony Holmesburg Trail, which is in design. The trail is part of the larger regional circuit trail system and the National East Coast Greenway. This legislation also authorizes a cooperation agreement between the city and the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, PRA, wherein the city will designate PRA as the city's agent to perform the activities necessary to allow the city to acquire the necessary real property interest for the acquisition. I'm requesting a suspension of the rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of council. Thank you, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
Well, thank you for your testimony. Just real quick, if you could explain how this is a part of a bigger picture and how it connects, you know, different parts of the trail for the bigger use of the open space of the general public for our trails and our public spaces?
Correct. We're trying to construct the East Coast Greenway from the Bucks County border the whole way down to Spring Garden Street, across Spring Garden Street, connecting to the Schuylkill River Trail, and getting the whole way down to John Hines to have the East Coast Greenway go through the city of Philadelphia. On just this section, we are completing projects along this corridor, along the North Delaware, which include the Baxter Trail, the Pennypack on the Delaware, which is completed, the Tacony-Holmesburg Trail, which connects to this trail, which connects to the K&T 1, which was opened last year, which then connects out to Tacony Street, and eventually will connect down to Delaware Avenue Extension, and then down to the Port Richmond Trail. So there's all East Coast Greenway along the Delaware, the North Delaware, and it's all part of the circuit.
My office has been working
Sure.
with, you know, the department as well as Riverfront North, and, you know, we're excited about it. And this piece really does, it's a vital connector.
Correct.
All right, for the north to south. And can you just for the record, you know, just let everybody know that the northern Delaware River Trail is surpassing expectations from the southern Philadelphia trail systems. All right, so we got a little challenge with Councilman Squill and myself. So we're making it happen in the north. You don't have to answer that. I'm just. Yeah. Is there anyone else with the administration want to speak on this bill number 180237? Anybody on the committee like to speak? Council Chair recognizes Councilman Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a great thing. I just have a question right now, so I understand. At this point in time, once you connect this piece, where would somebody start the trail and where could they finish at this point in time?
Well, at this point in time, the best thing to do would be to go to the Frankfurt Boat Launch off Tacony Street where Dietz and Watson is. That's K&T 1. And then with this piece, that'll be K&T 2, and that'll take you to the Tacony Boat Launch. And then it's going to take us some time to get up into the real industrial properties like waste management and the like to get to Pennypack on the Delaware, to have a safe off-road trail. It will take us a few more years, but we're working on it actively.
Okay. And the goal is to have it from Bucks County all the way down to South Philadelphia, basically?
All the way down to Southwest Philadelphia. To connect across Spring Garden Street would be the connector across the north piece and the south piece. You get over to Cobbs Creek Park. We're building sections down there to get to Hines, so that there will be one trail that goes from the Bequesing Mouth, Glen Ford, essentially, Torresdale, the whole way to Southwest Philadelphia and the John Hines National Wildlife Refuge.
This is for walking and biking?
Correct.
And is there any connectivity to the rail park on this plan?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone here today, in addition to those who have testified and asked questions or wish to speak on bill number 180237? That being done, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Councilman.
Is there anyone here from the administration that wishes to speak and testify on bill number 171084? Commissioner, you may state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony. Sure. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Heenan and members of the Public Property and Public Works Committee. My name is Bridget Collins, Greenwald Public Property Commissioner, and I'm here to testify in favor of bill number 171084, authorizing the city to acquire fee simple interest in real estate that comprises a small portion of the Viaduct Park. This bill relates primarily to a triangular section of the trail located at the southwest corner of 13th and Noble Streets that provides convenient access to the Viaduct Park. The city has an agreement with SEPTA to accept title to the Viaduct Park upon completion, which includes mostly fee simple title that has already been authorized by City Council in Bill number 150415. However, a small triangle of land that constitutes the Viaduct Park at the corner of 13th and Noble Streets is not fee simple, but rather an easement. The fee simple title owner to that triangle parcel is 401 North Broad Street. Based on discussions with the owner of 401 North Broad Street, both parties concluded that transferring fee simple title was in everyone's best interest. This acquisition is for nominal consideration. I ask that you move Bill number 171084 out of committee with a favorable recommendation and a suspension of the rules. My colleagues in Planning and Development are here, and I am here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your testimony. Chair recognizes Councilman Tom for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is 401 North Broad Street the seller of the Inquirer Building?
No, it is not. It's across the street.
Across the street?
Yes,
But there's no cost here involved on
No.
this transfer?
there's no cost.
I have no further questions then. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
As soon as I saw
I wish they
that,
were
I
all
said-
that. All right, is there anyone here who wishes to testify on Bill number 1704? That being none, Commissioner in the administration wishes to provide testimony on Bill number 180011.
Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald, and I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill number 180011, an ordinance to amend Chapter 16-200 of the Philadelphia Code by requiring appraisals as a condition of approval of certain acquisitions and dispositions of real estate, all under certain terms and conditions. The city is in agreement with the bill sponsors, Councilman Dom and Heenan, and the Department of Public Property, that the Department of Public Property should seek an independent appraisal of all acquisitions where the market value of real estate, as assigned by the Office of Property Assessment, is in excess of $200,000, with certain exceptions. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill number 180011. I'm requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioner, do we typically appraise the majority of our properties in the city of Philadelphia?
Yes, we do. When we're about to convey or acquire property, we typically obtain 2 appraisals for highest and best use.
Okay. Chair recognizes Councilman Downs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want a few comments on this. Not too much. Because I want to thank Chairman Heaton for co-sponsoring this legislation with me. And just want to make it clear, this does not apply to sheriff sales or eminent domain. But it does require an appraisal prior to council approving the sale of any real estate with a value in excess of $200,000. Public property, I guess you will request the appraisal when this happens, as best practices, and other cities across the country do this. I also want to make sure that this also applies when we're doing a lease to buy, or like we know we're going to buy something, but we're doing a lease for the seller's benefit in the short term. It should apply there also. It should apply in almost every transaction, because it gives you that arm's length that a third party analyzed the whole situation. So,
Agreed.
I have a separate note I just want to mention while I have you here, though. I drove by 46th and Market over the weekend, the property that we want to sell. It's just a few suggestions. We should clean up the property. We should cut the grass. We should make it look nicer. It's like that's the front lawn. When buyers drive by, they see this trash and weeds all over the place. Anytime you're trying to sell an asset, you want it to look as nice as possible. And I drove by because last week we talked about the L stop there, and I looked at that L stop at 46, which could use some help. That's not great. But the property itself is disheveled. So any buyer looking at that is going to naturally offer a much lower price versus a property that looks nicer. Even if we have returning citizens come over there and clean it up or something. We need to do something like that to make it look better.
We actually, coincidentally, this morning, I was in a meeting before this one, and we actually discussed that, and actually, we will be sending crews out there for that, and then there was a water issue as well. I don't know if you noticed that, but...
I didn't see the water, but thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was one too. So yes, actually, before we came here, that was the meeting, that was what we discussed in the meeting before that. So, total agreement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Commissioner, did we go to market on 46 Market?
We have we had an RFQ out, and now we have an RFP out on the street right now. We just extended the deadline till mid-May, right? Yeah, mid-May to receive proposals.
To mid-May, okay. All right, great. And I guess you would, could you inform myself so I can let the committee know when the proposal, when you select somebody, because you're going to have to come back. And
Sure,
start the
we're actually
negotiations.
working a lot with Councilwoman Blackwell's office, as it's in her district, to actually, go over whatever proposals we have. So like I said, we don't have any of the final ones yet.
I'm not concerned with the proposals, just looking at timeline and,
Sure.
Making sure that the protocols and people are just informed what's going on and we're asking questions on this committee. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Chair recognizes that we are also joined with the Councilman Jones, who smells like he just came off of the, river. He was rowing. Because he is rowing for charity.
Was that
He's
a
one of the-
compliment?
It is a compliment.
He said I smelled like the
I
river.
did say
did just
smell.
say that.
He's a rower as well. So I know I'm late. However, how close are, and this is in Councilwoman Blackwell's district. However, most of the constituents we share. Some in the third, some in the fourth, and it is, first of all, let me thank you in advance for trying to get us there as quickly as possible. And are we close to opening?
For 4601, for market? 4601, we're actually, we're just receiving the proposals, mid-May, our proposals are due for the RFP.
And what, so of those in the RFP, have you looked at any of the uses that they're proposing?
Yes, that's part of the review
Housing
process.
Or commercial, mixed use?
Yeah, mixed use is what we've gotten from both proposals. It was shortlisted, so we received some proposals, and we shortlisted to two or three? Three.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman, and I do want to thank the sponsor of this bill for codifying, the due diligence responsibility for our city to have and hold, 2 appraisals for each of its properties that we're about to acquire and or lease out. So, Councilman, thank you for your expertise and knowledge. Is there anyone else that wishes to testify here or on the committee on bill number 180011? Chair recognizes Councilman Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a comment on 46th and Market, because that's going to be a big story when we sell it,
Yes.
because of the amount of money we have in it compared to the price we're going to sell it for. So in that light, we need to not only just clean up the property, we should ask the streets department to make sure those streets look great around there. We talked to SEPTA last week about that station, making it look pristine and doing whatever we can. I mean, when you're selling real estate, you want it to look as nice as possible. That's why people even stage homes. So, I mean, you want it to look phenomenally well, that whole property, in the area, so we'll get the maximum price. Do you have any idea, or I guess you can't really answer that question, but have we talked to an appraiser? I know, I'm pretty sure we have, about what the highest and best use could be for that property?
Yes, we've talked to an appraiser, and then we could share that with you if you would like to.
Okay,
see it.
all right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that wishes to testify on this bill 180011? That being done, Commissioner, if you'd like to provide testimony on bill number 180104.
Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald, and I am the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 180104, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to convey certain parcels of land located in the area bounded by 130 West Westmoreland Street for conveyance, all under certain terms and conditions. White Car LLC will develop and manage a parking lot that will offer convenience for the neighborhood and collective new business being developed in the vicinity. With Councilwoman Quinona Sanchez's support, the residents of this neighborhood will benefit by not causing overcrowding and accessibility for those in need of utilizing business services. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill Number 180104. I'm requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is anybody on the committee wish to or have any questions on Bill Number 180104? Okay.
Thank you,
Councilman Tom.
Mr. Chairman. I just want to make sure I understand what this is. Can you explain to me what's happening here?
Yeah, it goes in conjunction with the following bill that I'm going to testify for. So this parcel was formerly occupied by the 24th and 25th Police District before we moved it, probably about 16, 17 years ago. PIDC has been marketing this site probably since about that time. Every time we get pretty close to a deal, something seems to happen. So the councilwoman has actually done some outreach too to get some support for the neighborhood in the form of putting a supermarket there and an urgent care. So the next bill, you'll hear me talk about that. So this piece is for the parking that goes with that supermarket and urgent care.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else on the committee to wish to testify on that bill? Anyone else here that's joining us today that wishes to testify on Bill Number 180104? That being none, Commissioner, can you offer testimony 180105?
Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald. I am the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 180105, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to convey all the parcels of land located in the area bounded by 3300 North Front Street for conveyance. White Car LLC proposes a development plan to secure a supermarket and/or an urgent care facility to assist with the basic needs of the expanding neighborhood. With Councilwoman Quinona Sanchez's support, the residents of this neighborhood will have access to the growing demands of the community. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill Number 180105. I am requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of Council. Thank you. I will answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Anybody on the committee? The chair recognizes Councilman Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make sure I understand. We're conveying the property to White Car?
White Car LLC, so not White Car,
Right.
yeah,
But they are then saying they're proposing a development plan.
yes.
So are we transferring this property for free?
No.
They're paying for it?
And we have appraised values for both and actually exceeded those values. So
Okay.
one is $200,000 and the other one is $185,000.
What happens if their proposed plan isn't feasible?
So we would have in the deed, we would have that you would have to have it's kind of like a redeveloper's agreement, but it's a little different for us. But we put something in there stating this is what you need to do.
So it's restricted in the deed?
Yeah, it has like a clawback.
Okay, so if they can't do the development, do we have to give them back the money?
Depending how it is written, no. So we would hold on to certain pieces of it and then it would go back to them. If they got to the point where they couldn't do anything, there would be there's certain percentages that we keep and then there's certain that go back, like a deposit of sorts.
Okay. And does White Car LLC own other properties in that area?
That I am unsure. They do? Okay. Dominique has been dealing with them on this one, so we'll let her respond. So say your name.
My name is,
Hold on. Yeah, it's on.
my name is Dominique Hasmere, Public Property. White Car is a developer in the area, is trusted by Councilwoman, has been seeking sites, more so minor scale developments and mixed-use community developments in that area.
And have we looked at their track record?
I think you can, the Councilwoman has,
Okay.
so.
I'm just asking the question so we know what we're getting into. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else on the committee that wishes to speak on Bill number 180105? Anyone else here today wishes to speak on Bill number 180105? That being done, Commissioner, could you please provide testimony on Bill number 180106?
Sure. Good morning, Chairman Heeman and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald. I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill number 180106, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into a lease agreement with the Springdale Associates LP for use by the city of the premises located at 520 North Delaware Avenue under certain terms and conditions. The Voters Commission will use this the City Commissioners will use this location for administrative storage and hearings. The city recommends the property at 520 North Delaware Avenue for renewal of this location. The renewal lease for the property will commence no later than August 1st, 2018 for a term of 5 years under certain terms and conditions. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill number 180106. I am requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of council. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Anyone on the committee like to speak on Bill number 180106? Chair recognizes Councilman Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. How many square feet is this lease for?
This is for 39,000 square feet.
And what's the rent per foot?
1410 is the rent.
Is that triple net or is that all inclusive?
This is that's the base rent. I'm sorry, all in is 1649.
That's all in with all the triple nets and taxes and everything?
Yep. And then we have a TI for $10 a square foot. We went into this lease for 5 years.
$10 a square foot for a 5-year lease?
Yeah.
That's not the norm. The norm is $3 to $4 a foot.
Yes, we do understand that.
Per year, by the way.
What's that?
Per year.
We're in this facility right now in anticipation of the new voter machines coming online by the time we would get out of this building. So there was some considerations made with not having to move the machines that exist out now.
So doing the quick math, is this lease like $600,000 a year? All in?
No, it should be a little less than that.
16 times 40,000 square feet?
16 times.
640.
Yeah, a little bit less than that.
630 maybe, yeah. So is this sufficient? Because like I've been down there and it's like empty, okay? It's like not a lot of people there, and it's a lot of space. My question is have we had a space planner come in and look at this and see if we really need 39,000 square feet?
We actually have had a space planner come in and made suggestions on how to consolidate all of the space, including the warehouse space, the staffing space, and whatnot. So when the new voting machines come online, that space plan will be incorporated with that purchase.
But if that's the case, we're locking into a 5-year lease now. Why don't we lock into a shorter lease so we can put that space plan in effect?
That's when they're coming online, right? They anticipate they'll come online right around the time of that, and then the new elections coming up. So the upcoming elections and the timing of the new voting machines is what made us go into the 5-year lease, and we figured that will coincide nicely, and then.
So it's going to take us 5 years to get our space organized.
I think it'll take us 5 years to move everything. So to add the new voting machines, it doesn't make sense to move the existing ones anywhere else. So because if you've been there, you've seen the size.
But my point is that there's a lot of waste of space there. Okay, I see it, and I think we could be more efficient, not just there but across the board. And at a time when we're looking to raise taxes on people, there's lots of areas of this government where we could be a lot more efficient, and I've seen it. And this is just one small area out of 1,000. But I think we should really, act as if it's our own money and figure out how we can cut down the square footage. And I realize it's going through the process. I'm trying to get the thought process changed on how we think about things.
We've actually already commissioned the space planning process for this, and I agree that it'll probably pan out a different.
Has the space plan been completed?
We have an older one that we did, it was actually predated my time here, so probably about 2010, I believe, to consolidate all this. And then I think the thinking was back then, there were all these new voting machines on the horizon, and it keeps getting pushed back. But now that it seems like that is, from what I understand, coming to fruition, I think we would just have to dust off the plan and look at it a little bit. You know what I mean? Not go through the whole entire planning process again, but dust off the one we have.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else on the committee who wishes to speak on bill number 180106? Anyone here today wish to testify on bill number 180106? That being said, Commissioner, could you please provide testimony on 180177, please?
Sure. Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald, and I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 180177, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into a lease agreement with the Roxborough Development Corporation for use by the city of the premises located at 46365 Leverington under certain terms and conditions. This location is used as a parking facility. The city recommends the property at 46365 Leverington for renewal of this location. The renewal lease for the property will commence no later than August 1st, 2018 for a term of 15 years under certain terms and conditions. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill Number 180177. I am requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of council. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your testimony. Anyone on the committee wish to speak on bill number 180177? Chair recognizes Councilman Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to understand this. We're renting a parking lot, basically?
We're going to lease this parking lot back to the Development Corporation. The Development Corporation currently does maintain the parking lot and leases it from us. This is a renewal of the existing lease. It's a community-based lot, so they use it to collect the overflow of parking. From what I understand, there's not a lot of parking in that area, so this is something that Councilman Jones had proposed to continue with this lease to this corporation. And they are a good partner. They maintain everything, and we don't actually get too involved.
What is the lease payment amount?
It's $150 a year for 15 years. It's nominal.
$150?
It's a nominal lease, yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes Councilman.
One thing my colleague can do is count. So let me explain the benefit of it. There are over 100 commercial corridors in the city of Philadelphia. In this particular one, parking is a premium. In and out, trying to get people and particularly long-term employees that stay, a place to park so you free up the parking at the meters. We have a strategic partnership with the Business Association up there. They do events like Harvest Fest. They are a strategic, but for them, we would not have a cleaning crew. But for them, we wouldn't have maintenance. So this is almost like a fundraiser that we as a city doesn't have to do a direct appropriation for. And we put a couple of improvements in there to make sure that it's well lit and safe. And we hope that they continue to grow. And without a lot of vacancies on the corridor, it brings a lot of revenue into the city. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. And for the record, we have written testimony in support of bill number 180177 from James Harry Calamia, Roxborough Development Corporation, which has been provided to all members of this committee. Is there anyone else on the committee that wishes to or wishes to ask any other questions on bill number 180177? Anyone else here today who's joining us that wishes to testify on 180177? That being said, Commissioner, could you provide testimony for 180239, please?
Sure. Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald, and I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 180239, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title to all or a portion of a parcel of land located in and about the area bounded by Norwich Drive, 67th Street, Essington Avenue, and 70th Street, all under certain terms and conditions. The city will use this facility for the use of fleet services. The site encompasses all needs and accommodations for this use. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill Number 180239. I'm requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of council. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chair recognizes Councilman Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How big is this parcel?
This parcel is it's almost 23,000 square feet.
And was this appraised?
Yes.
And the appraisal came in,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What was it? Oh, I'm sorry. The parcel is 2.97 acres. I'm looking at something else. Sorry about that.
2.97, that's a little better, 2.97
Yeah.
acres. Okay. And the appraisal justified the $3.5 million price?
It did, actually, yes, it did, and it's actually in almost complete move-in condition for an auto body shop for fleet management, and will allow us to sell the existing fleet management property at 11th and Reed.
And what do you think that'll sell for?
I believe we have an appraisal, do you, what was it? 10 to 12, yeah, about 10 to 12 million was the current
Do
appraisal
we get
that
an
we have.
appraisal on that before we sell it?
Yes, yes, we have
So
an appraisal, and we
so
have an
that-
appraisal on this place.
So that means you're going to have a surplus of $7 million?
We will have a surplus, so if you remember at last session, we moved, we have a lease, a very nominal lease for the OIT group to move out, and then this piece should be it, and then we're actually renovating the existing police station that's there, the L&I station that's there, streets department, survey unit, and highway unit that's there, and then there's a fire station. So when this goes out for RFP, you're going to see the option to take the whole parcel and completely rebuild as a fire station, or to carve that piece out. So we have to wait to see what the market will bear on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner, you mentioned OIT. Is this some of the shared space that OIT is going to be vacating in 11th Race or 11th and Reed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their communications group. So they have all the equipment there and things like that. So they're going to be moving as well. So then the building will be empty.
Right. Or is OIT splitting their space or not splitting their space? So, or is when OIT leaves 11th and Reed, will they be going to multiple locations, or is this going to be the primary location?
They're going to, where are they going?
They're going to 6950.
Which street?
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh Boulevard. That was last session. You
Correct.
guys
That's-
approved that
that's
bill.
what
I
I'm
couldn't
just
think of the
trying to
address, sorry.
So what's different with OIT
And actually,
here?
their space, we downsized quite a bit.
I know you have.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Is there a reason, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, may I? Is there a reason why they're downsizing?
It just, you know what, it's old warehouse space, and just for efficiencies purposes, it was the communications unit, which actually used to be under public property years ago, for those who were around back then that remember that. It's old equipment that was in there, so it's just really a lot of cleanup of the space. So like, what do you actually need? What kind of equipment do you need? And what's the staffing levels look like? So it was a lot of cleanup, I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else on the committee wishes to make any comments? Anyone else here joining us today wishes to testify on Bill Number 180239? That being none, Commissioner, could you please provide testimony for Bill Number 180350?
Sure. Good morning, Chairman Heenan and other members of the Committee on Public Property and Public Works. My name is Bridget Greenwald, and I am the Commissioner of the Department of Public Property. I'm here today to testify in support of Bill Number 180350, an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire fee simple title to all or a portion of a parcel of land located in or about the area bounded by Castor Avenue, Loretta Avenue, Eldon Avenue, and Bly Avenue, all under certain terms and conditions. The city will use this facility for the use of the police district, of the 2nd Police District. The site encompasses all needs and accommodations for this use, providing the adequate space requirements necessary. The Department of Public Property supports this measure, and accordingly, I respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill Number 180350. I'm requesting a suspension of all rules so as to allow for the first reading at the next session of council. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Comment, statement, I would, being that this is in the Councilmanic District that I represent now, and a lot of activity taking place with capital investments and priorities, and one being the, co-location and shared space between the 2nd District and the 15th District. So this move and this investment for public safety, what does that do for the 15th Police District, who also shares the co-location?
Sure, it'll allow, so the staff of the 2nd Police District will move into this new facility, thus freeing up the whole entire parcel on Harbison Ave for the 15th Police District, who, I guess as everyone knows who's been there and has heard testimony over the past probably 20 so years, is completely overcrowded. It's the largest police district, covers the largest amount of area at the 15th in the city. We have a lot of plans to completely renovate that facility, so complete external renovations and then internal. So once the 2nd Police District moves out, we'll start on the interior renovations on the 2nd Police District side and kind of like just do a swap and then do the other side and actually adequately fit the space for the employees of the 15th Police District, because as you know, you did a walkthrough with us, they are literally on top of each other in that district.
So for the record, I mean, the 15th, and this isn't always just about the 15th, because we're talking about the 2nd right now, right?
Yeah.
So the 2nd and the 15th won't be sharing cubicles, they won't be sharing touchdown spaces, they'll have the adequate and proper technology and dignity and respect that they could, a place that they can go to work with, instead of seeing things online. Now that we got Facebook, right, everything's on online with floods and Band-Aid fixes of the roofs. I think the controller has done multiple reports on just deplorable conditions, and public property has done the best they could, with the limited amount of resources, just kind of, fixing up problems as they occur, which you do. But this really gives an opportunity, and I'm excited about this, given, not only the 2nd District, a little more, I'm not going to say room to work, but at much, much better working conditions. But it also will alleviate a lot of congestion, alleviate a lot of, I think, obstacles for them to do their job safely and efficiently, as well as provide that same kind of opportunity for the 15th Police District.
Absolutely, yeah, and it also put the 2nd Police District in the 2nd Police District, so.
Well, how about that, right?
So
Go figure, it only took 16 years to come up with an option for the 24th and 25th that we heard earlier in this hearing. I mean, these things don't happen overnight.
The 2nd Police District, we've been, since I've been here, we've been looking for an adequate facility within the 2nd District boundaries, and we've come close a few times and just hasn't happened. So we're very excited about this one.
No, I like your real estate division, really trying to look at opportunities when they present themselves and jumping on them and providing us with the information. So good job. Good job with that. Chair recognizes Councilman Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I just had a couple of questions on this, which I think is great that we're doing this, but have we looked at every possible new technology that we can incorporate into these new police headquarter buildings so that we are state-of-the-art up there and we are above the curve of other cities? And for example, I'm sure it's going to eventually come down to this. We have tremendous overtime in the police department when the police officers are called in for court hearings. I think New Jersey does like Skyping and so forth. Have we thought about those types of things coming down the road where we could have areas of the police stations where they could not have to come into this, the core of the city, but do their testimony from their local areas.
So this is a bigger project than just public property involved, but I know that MDO is looking at all these various aspects of what you're talking about. We would have adequate space in this facility to do something like that. We are working very closely with the police department and OIT on this, and then MDO as they oversee the police department. I know we're looking at the overall strategies on this whole court and court appearances and how that works and whatnot. So yeah, we anticipate this will be state of the art, as will the 15th, as will all the new ones that we have coming online, 6th, 9th, 22nd, 15th, 2nd. They won't be as they are.
You wouldn't know by chance what cities right now have probably the most advanced technology for their police departments?
I do not, but that is something I'm sure OIT, would work with when we're working with them. And the police department has its own IT unit as well, so they work in conjunction with us in that one. I'm sure they know. I don't personally know.
I'm only asking for general coordination because if we know what other cities are doing, and we can look and see if
Sure.
that's something
Do
we
their
may
best
want to do.
practices.
You and OIT should come together and figure this out so that we plan it so that we are like at the top versus bottom or middle.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Just out of curiosity, I love all my police districts, the 5th, part of the 39th, but the 19th is where most of my activity is. Are they on the list anywhere?
So the master facilities plan that I've spoken about, I guess for the past 2 years, I think we got the funding last fiscal year, and we're just wrapping that up. We're actually going to be doing a presentation for you guys, and it's interesting. So based on facility conditions, you can get a list, but also based on expansion needs, like demographics, things like that area, you can look at, does it make sense to actually, I'll say the 19th, for example, keep it where it is? Does it make sense to move it? And then those decisions will be able to be made from this tool. So you guys should be seeing this soon. You can absolutely have a list of here are the ones that facility-wise, condition-wise, you could put some investment into, but you might have other factors you want to consider as well.
Man, I'll just take the pumps replacement. You got Fred Flintstone's first gas station at the 19th district. You got to kind of crank it up, so it's always broken. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like a request to me, Commissioner, from Councilman Jones, and
And we'll go over all your data with you to show by district what's going on.
And hopefully, and I'm sure that your new asset database, all right, will really come into play here and determine all the different factors in your space design. I think will make it a little easier moving forward because we invested a lot of money into launching the program that you guys are populating right now. So I'm excited about that.
Sure, it'll be a great guidepost for
You know,
us to make decisions, recommendations, and you guys make decisions
So
as well.
to Councilman Dom's technology question, I mean, we are investing a lot in our public safety, not just our fire, but our police. We're spending, we're committed to $100 million in increasing in staffing and technology and other resources with our police department. So as they grow and fix, we want to make sure that, we have the technologies to support, that growth in the future. The 15th and 2nd now, as they share, where they co-locate, they do have, I mean, it's dated, I'm sure, but they have the CTV or, video conferencing with the, with Bail, with the Bail commissioners. So, I mean, I think they have like you stand on this little X on the spot on the floor. So it certainly is dated, but they do have a little bit of technology to conference in via video for people that they're holding in the district proper and downtown before, if anybody needs to be transported. So hopefully all that technology really kind of meshes in with the future of OIT, because they need the technology as well. So thank you so much. Thank you for your line of question. Anyone else on the committee wishes to testify on bill number 180350? Anyone here joining us today wishes to testify on bill number 180350? All right, seeing none, that will conclude our public hearing. We will now go into our public meeting. Our chair recognizes Councilman Greenlee on a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that bill numbers 171-084, 180-011, 180-104, 180-105, 180-106, 180-177, 180-237, 180-239, and 180-350. Yeah, that was the first one. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, he had it out of order, but it's in there. Those bills be voted out of this committee with favorable recommendation. Further, I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit first reading of these bills at our next session of council.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Those bills just read into the record will be reported out of committee with a favorable recommendation with the rule suspension as to be heard at our next council session. Thank you all for your testimony, and thank you for joining us here today. This concludes the Committee on Public Property and Public Works.
Thank you.